I have love in me the likes of which you can scarcely imagine, and rage the likes of which you would not believe. If I cannot satisfy one, I will indulge the other. This is Rebooty and the Beast, a podcast in 2 parts. I'm Ed Burke.
And I'm Matt Molinaro, and in the first episode, we review an original piece of media, and in the following episodes, we discuss the reboots.
That's right.
Here we are, another reboot.
That's right, and we're doing 1994's Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Is that Dracula vibes or Frankenstein horror movie? I don't know.
I think it's generally like spooky cartoon vibes.
Right? An organ.
Yeah, why not? Okay, so 1994, starring Kenneth Branagh, Helena Bonham Carter, and Robert De Niro, who I did not recognize until like halfway through the movie.
Oh, I knew he was in it because I saw the list, but it took me a minute. When I finally saw him, I was like, okay.
I think Robert De Niro did a great job in this role. However, isn't he like 4 feet tall?
Like his actual height?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Is he?
I thought he was just a tiny little man.
Is that like a thing? Like that he's a person of small stature that people know? I don't know. He's Danny DeVito style or like...
That's kind of what I thought. Like not much taller than him, but maybe I'm wrong.
Let me see if it says anything.
Oh my God, he's 5'10". Okay, I guess I just totally...
You know what? And he's taller than me. How dare you?
The most recent image I have of Robert De Niro is he was at a roast where Nikki Glaser was roasting him, and he was sitting down, and it must have been like the angle of the chair or something. He looked really small, and so I think I just thought he was a very short man.
You know, some people just have a vibe about them, and you get an image in your head about how tall they are.
Yeah.
And then you are shocked when you see them in proximity to someone else.
Yes.
I think
that's fair.
What's happening here. Maybe Nikki Glaser too. I imagine her very tall. I wonder if she actually is, or she just wears heels, or just gives that sort of confidence.
She is pretty tall. I've seen her live. She's pretty tall.
I would love to. Is she as good live as you expected?
Oh, she was phenomenal.
Oh, I would love to see her live.
Yeah.
John
okay,
Cleese
so
was
those
also
3,
in this.
And John Cleese, which was a very weird choice for the movie, and apparently one that the like directors or whoever producers were like, I don't know about this.
I didn't even recognize him. I had to look him up. I was like, that's John Cleese? And I was like, what does John Cleese look like? And then I realized they put him in some prosthetic a little bit, right?
Yes, they did.
Weird. Like, why did that need to even... Like, like anyone was going to see him not with a prosthetic and be like, what?
I know.
Something's off.
I know. Yeah.
Anyway.
I think what I read was just that, like, obviously he's known as a comedic actor and also for, like, comedic facial expressions. And so I think they thought, oh, his face is too funny. And so we need to make it more serious.
I think if they were worried about something being over the top, they had other concerns where they could have...
I mean, yeah. Also, but imagine Gene Wilder as this serious doctor. Like, his face is too comedy.
Fair enough. I have never seen this movie before.
No.
I vaguely remember it being in theaters.
I have no memory of it being in theaters either.
It feels like if I thought of Frankenstein, the phrase Mary Shelley's Frankenstein just pops out to my mind, you know?
Okay.
But this is the kind of movie, and especially even after watching it now, where it kind of I could have seen parts of it on a trailer, or it could just be the vibe of movie it is. Like, a lot of movies were this sort of vibe for a while.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense? Like, sort of period pieces with Helena Bonham Carter or someone like her playing some sort of over-the-top Victorian woman.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think there was a lot of period piece movies in the early 90s.
You know, it feels like that kind of thing. Like, not Shakespeare in Love, but it feels like there was a feeling. And I feel like they thought, Gothic, this is Gothic.
Yeah.
This is what people thought Gothic was.
Do you think Shakespeare in Love holds up as a movie? I remember really liking it.
I've never seen it, but from what I understand, it does not.
Oh,
Only because all I know about Shakespeare in Love is that it is known as like winning the Oscar over something that should have won it.
oh, really?
Right? Isn't that the thing? People say like, or maybe she won the Oscar. Something about Shakespeare in Love and the Oscars was like very scandalous.
Now I have to look it up. I've never heard that before.
I'm almost positive.
Okay,
Let's see.
let's see.
Because it won Best Picture, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress, Best Original Screenplay.
Whoa.
I mean, I don't know if this is all the Oscars though I'm looking at, but let's see.
Yeah, it kind of like swept the 71st Oscar Awards.
And it beat Saving Private Ryan.
Oh.
It beat.
Oh, it beat Life is Beautiful too.
Mm-hmm. And it was Harvey Weinstein.
Oh yeah. Interesting.
It was here's maybe a dramatic headline, but from the BBC article in 2024, when Shakespeare in Love won Best Picture in 1999, keeping Steven Spielberg's Saving Private Ryan off the top spot, it was the culmination of a campaign that changed the awards landscape forever. Okay.
Interesting.
Damn.
Huh.
Anyway, I just remember that being a thing. But I've never seen it.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. I wonder if I mean, I remember thinking the movie was good, controversy of the Academy Awards aside, but I just don't know if it's actually good or if it's good because I saw it when I was 12.
I love a period piece when it's good, you know?
Yes, same. I really like period pieces, especially like all the costuming and all of that.
Yes. The costuming, the language, there's a lot of, if it's done right, there's a lot done in the quiet moments in those movies and shows. Do you know what I mean? Like the tension and building and the what's not said and what's kept. It's just very good.
Yeah, agreed.
This feels like it was leaning into that vibe of setting and atmosphere, at least. Yeah, so that's what I had ahead of this. I didn't watch a trailer this time or anything. I just kind of went in blind. You as well?
Yes, I really like to just experience it if I've never seen it before. And so I try not to look at any ratings. I try not to look at any trailers or anything. And I just go in totally fresh.
Did you have any expectations at all about this or hopes when you started it, right before you started it? I'm just curious where our journey is going to begin and end.
I think my journey begins I was kind of Googling like the kind of best adaptations of Mary Shelley's Frankenstein so that I could come up with the list of what we wanted to review to suggest to you. Mm-hmm. And somebody commented that this is probably the most faithful adaptation to the novel of any Frankenstein movie. But I also think maybe I might have read a comment where people were like, yeah, but it's still not good. And Matt, should I just read the texts that I was sending you while I was watching it last night?
I'll read them.
Okay, great.
Let's see. So I watched it a couple days before you, I think.
Yes.
And so you texted me. I'm about 8 minutes into the movie and I hate it already. And then about 30 minutes or so later, this sucks. And so I texted you a gif of it's breathtaking, to which you responded a gif of make it stop.
Yeah, that I think, I mean, okay.
Is that the end of the episode?
So let's talk about the ratings. No, I think that certainly was my experience for at least the first half of the movie, if not the first like 3/4 of the movie.
Interesting.
I think it is extremely, extremely slow-paced and boring for at least an hour.
I was going to say, I wonder what our feelings are going to be on this movie, because this might be the most conflicted I feel.
Oh, yeah?
About a movie in a while that we've done.
Okay, interesting.
Having challenging feelings about how I feel about it.
Okay.
Two competing vibes.
Yeah, I will say, and we'll talk about them as we dive into the movie, but there are some parts that I thought were really lovely. Mm-hmm. And then there was a lot of times where I was like, what the fuck? Why am I still I literally, I can't tell you the number of times I like paused it and groaned and said like, "Oh my god, I'm only an hour in," or "Oh my god, I still have 45 minutes."
Oh, I mean, we watched this on the Pluto TV app, which had
Oh,
commercials.
and all the commercials.
Yes. Ugh. And let me tell you, I'm spoiled now. I do not want to deal with commercials. Unless, here's a note to everyone out there who's making commercials on these apps. If you want me to like commercials or you want people to pay attention to them, make them like the 90s commercials were. Give me jingle, fun, wild, over-the-top nonsense. Give me kids screaming about pizza rolls and, you know, Hot Wheels leading the way. I don't want any of this nonstop. I want to sing about Pop Goes Perfection. That being said, I didn't mind the commercials in this one because I needed moments to look at Davey and be like, okay, can we go over what we just that section?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was interesting.
It was kind of funny watching it with commercials because I did feel like it obviously extended the viewing experience by quite a bit of time because there was a lot of commercials. But both the quality of the movie and the length of viewing experience, I felt like I had been watching it for 6 hours. And so and the quality of the movie felt almost like a TV miniseries a lot of the time.
Yes.
I was just
going to say that.
It just felt very laborious to watch.
Many times it felt like, miniseries vibes.
Yes.
Partly because the commercials, partly because the detail work in some of the settings that were probably used once. I mean, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You want to get into it?
We'll get there. Yeah, let's actually get into the movie.
I'm realizing I'm just babbling. I mean, that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Summary?
So, yeah. Yes, please.
Okay. When the brilliant but unorthodox scientist, Dr. Victor Frankenstein, rejects the artificial man that he has created, the creature escapes and later swears revenge.
I would say that's accurate for the movie and probably a pretty accurate tale of the book.
I'd say so too. And I guess I'm sure this is in your trivia and stuff too, but I guess it bears mentioning now. We've not said the word monster, and this summary of the creature is probably the only time the word creature is used. He's credited as the sharp-featured man, Frankenstein's creation?
Yeah.
And I read that was like intentional, and that, I don't know if it was not Robert De Niro, Kenneth Branagh.
Branagh. Yeah.
Who also, I think, was a producer, director or something, really didn't want the word monster used for Frankenstein's creation.
Correct.
Which I really like.
Yeah.
No?
I actually don't know what he's referred to in the books. I'm not sure if he's referred to as the monster or the creature.
Yeah, me neither. Sharp-featured man. Interesting, though.
Yeah. And also, none of his features were really sharp, so...
That was another thing. I thought, what an interesting choice to use. You would think of someone very angular.
Yes.
Anyway.
Okay. So we open at the North Pole, where a group of explorers are encountering a rough storm and hit an iceberg, and there's like kind of a subplot of these men like arguing with the captain. It does not matter. But they hear like moaning in the distance and see someone coming toward them, and it's Kenneth Branagh. And they hear the moan again, and the dogs like run after them, and Kenneth Branagh is like, "Leave them, they're already dead." And then we see some cuts, really bad cuts of like cheesy dogs dying.
Yes, I was like, okay, we don't need to be killing dogs.
No.
I mean, you don't need to be showing me your interpretation of the dogs. Thank God it was so cheesy.
Yes.
But I don't need to be seeing your interpretation of dogs being killed.
No.
Oh, immediately. Where was that in the book?
Honestly. So it's like, they're like, what's out there? And we learn that Kenneth Branagh is Victor Frankenstein. And he starts telling his tale, which begins like in his childhood in Austria, which I was like, Jesus Christ, do we really have to go back to his childhood? But okay.
I was already confused because, like you said, this whole subplot does not matter with this boat of people in the iceberg and this North Pole thing. Very strange. Maybe it's in the book. I don't know. It was very strange. Very hard to get a grasp on what was happening until he said, "I'm Victor Frankenstein." By the way, doesn't he look like what's his name? he was in Star Wars. He was in Big Fish. He was in so many things. He was in Moulin Rouge.
Oh, wait.
Yes, Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor, is that right?
Is that his name?
I don't think so. I think we might be confusing two different actors. Are you talking about the one who played Anakin in the newer Star Wars?
Ewan McGregor. It is Ewan McGregor I'm thinking of. Okay.
Is it?
Yes. It's the older one. He played,
I think Hayden Christensen was the one from Star Wars.
they're both in Star Wars. The one who played the Anakin one is Hayden Christensen. Ewan McGregor played Obi-Wan.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Anyway, this actor looked just like Ewan McGregor from, like, those days. I thought it was him at first.
You think Kenneth Branagh and Ewan McGregor look like each other?
In this movie, he looked like Ewan McGregor.
I can kind of see it with the hair and the beard. Yeah.
Yeah, like from that time period, from like when he was in Big Fish, which if you've not seen, it's one of my favorites.
I've never seen it.
Oh, so good. So the whole North Pole thing was strange and bizarre. And then, like you said, when it said we're going back in time and it said Geneva 1773,
yeah,
I was like, damn.
Yeah, we're really going back to Victor as a child, and they like introduce a girl named Elizabeth. Okay, first of all, let's talk about this house.
Oh, yes. Okay.
They have this monstrous like castle estate house.
Mm-hmm.
And there is nothing inside of it. It's like they spent all of the money on building the set and couldn't afford any like set decorations.
Yes, and it was weird because the set would oscillate between looking really grand sometimes,
yeah,
really detailed and like a lot of work put into it, and then sometimes, and Davey mentioned this, it would look like a stage play.
Yes. Yeah.
And this is a perfect example. Like, it looked really grand from a distance, but when you looked at the walls, they looked very flat, like wallpaper.
Yeah.
Like, not actually textured at all. And then there was nothing.
There was literally...
And it was not part of the plot.
No. I think maybe this was supposed to be like the ballroom or something, but literally all that was in there was one piano and not a single piece of furniture otherwise. And that's the main room that they were in for most of the movie.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I don't think this was meant to be part of the plot, but I think the main problem here is we see Victor Frankenstein's mom, when he's a child, is obsessed with him. Obsessed.
Yeah.
Obsessed. Like, it is like all those like memes you see about like boy moms out there.
Yeah.
It is that to a 10th degree. He breathes and she's like, oh, look what he's done.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Anyway, they also decide to adopt a girl who is coming to live with them. They are like saving her from scarlet fever or whatever is going around. Her name is Elizabeth. And they like shake hands. And then we skip 20 years ahead to Victor as an adult. And his mother is pregnant again. And then she goes into labor. And somehow the father, who is also a doctor, so this is Victor Frankenstein's father, is delivering the baby. He's shirtless for an unknown reason.
Yes.
Everybody is covered in blood.
Horrific.
Like, it's like the closing scene of Suspiria covered in blood.
But it looked like ritualistic.
It did. It looked like they were sacrificing her.
It was so strange. And then as she's like in this moment of like giving birth, they have the lightning strikes the tree outside and it explodes.
Yeah, it's very dramatic for not a lot of reason. And the main takeaway is that she dies during childbirth, and Victor, like at her grave site, is like crying, wanting her back. And he says something about like, you never should have died. No one ever need die. I will stop this, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm. So we see the catalyst of his obsession with eternal life.
Yes. However, remember the first Frankenstein, my complaint was like, we didn't get enough of the like driving force behind Victor Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
This movie tried to do that, but it spent way too much time on things that didn't matter and not enough time on things that did matter. And so it felt like we were being spoon-fed his motivation, or like force-fed his motivation in a really ineffective way.
Yeah, and it was strange because they did all of it. The way they shot all of this too was like the music in the background is very grand, like over the top. How would you describe it? Orchestral.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, however you want to describe the music in this movie is really bad because they do these like dramatic stings of music for things that you don't have any like it doesn't the context isn't there. Like he rents a room in an and there's an attic and he opens the attic and it's just a big empty attic and you get this like big dramatic sinister like bum 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 and it's like it's just an attic. Like what are you doing here?
And they pan out
Whoever
for a
did
long, slow time, and you don't know, you're waiting
Yes.
for something, but then it just cuts to the next scene.
Correct. So music in this movie awful, very poorly done.
Very misleading, big swings for no reason,
Yes.
really dramatic, and it's often way too loud.
Very loud.
Way too loud. It overpowers the dialogue at points.
Yes.
I was like, turn it down.
Okay, so he is there's a scene where he and Helena Bonham Carter and some random girl and a child that we don't care about are running around on a mountaintop with a kite, and there's like thunder in a clear sky, and they like have a cloud that they show like lightning in the cloud, and it legitimately looks like Clash of the Titans 1980 special effects level.
Oh, yeah. It's very strange. And they really want you to care about these other characters for some reason, but they don't tell you who they are, ever. I'm still confused about who they are.
Agreed. I still don't know who they are. They both end up dying at some point, and I'm like, are they relatives? Sometimes they're kind of treated like servants, but then sometimes they're treated like friend or family. It's very confusing.
Yeah, I first thought it was like her sister.
Yeah.
But it was really unclear. Because there's a weird side plot with her where she's obsessed with Victor as well.
Something like that.
Like she wishes Victor would have married her or something. It's very strange. It's very strange.
I just have to point out one thing, which is, there's like lightning and they're in danger of the lightning striking the ground. And Helena Bonham Carter literally turns to Kenneth Branagh and goes, "What are we going to do?" And ever since there was a moment where like, Reese Witherspoon, where Reese Witherspoon was giving an interview or something like that and talking about like why she wants more women directing and more women writing in film and movie and TV and stuff. And she says, once you see this happen, you will see it happen in every single movie where at some point the woman turns to the man and says, "What are we going to do?" And she says, that never happens in real life. And now I can't not see it. She's so right. You see it everywhere, and it happened right here.
It's so true. And honestly, I wrote this exact moment down. I wrote, they're running around a field like it's The Sound of Music.
Yes.
Randomly, they're getting chased by a cloud.
Yes.
A cloud. One. Clear sky. One cloud is chasing them.
Yeah.
It's not even puffy. And she screams, like you said, I wrote down, "What are we to do?" With a million O's. The music is high drama, and it's also an opportunity for there to be lightning and then just random shots of Helena Bonham Carter's boobs.
Oh my God. Her boobs were like the main star of this scene.
They really were. They were everywhere. It was, what are we to do? Here are my boobs.
So he puts like a lightning rod in the ground and makes them all lie down on the ground like 5 feet away from a lightning rod, which doesn't seem like the right choice. And lightning strikes it, and then we get like bad special effects of them all kind of like being electrified. None of them are damaged, but they're all like static cling to the extreme, zapping each other.
Yes, like it's Alex Mack.
And he goes, "How do you feel, Elizabeth?" And she says, "Alive." Okay.
Was that their, like, callback?
I guess.
She might as well have went to the screen and they could have gone to commercial.
Yeah. Then we get another scene of them dancing in a hall, and the dad announces that Victor is leaving to kind of pursue his doctorate, blah, blah, blah. And it's a big party to like send him off. And I literally, in all capitals, just typed, "Ew, he kisses his sister."
I mean, this is just the beginning.
I know, but why? Maybe this was in the book. Maybe it's of a different, I mean, she wrote it in the late 1800s or something, I think, right? Mary Shelley?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like technically it's an adopted sibling, but I still feel very icky about this.
It's strange because listen, I'm not trying to judge anybody out there, but I get that they're not blood related, but they were socialized and raised as brother and sister since like very young. And It's the way they introduce it too. It's like they have a kiss, and then they have like a weird like back and forth where they're like, sister, friend, lover, wife, yes, no. It's like very annoying.
Yes, agreed.
And it seems like the message I wrote down from the scene is like, they are going to get married so that they can fuck.
Yeah.
What?
So he asks her to marry him and come with him to his studies because he's going to some other city. And she says, I belong here. I want to make this a great home for our children. So she's going to stay behind. As though it's like, girl, that house already has a whole bunch of servants and people taking care of it. What do you mean you need to like make it a great home for our children?
Right.
But whatever. So he goes to Ingolstadt to study medicine. We get the scene where he rents the attic and he's telling the landlord he's going to have a bunch of equipment delivered. The sinister music happens.
You recognize the landlord's name was Frau Brucker or whatever.
It wasn't the same as Young Frankenstein, but it was like Frau Brau. It was like Frau Brau.
Yeah, it was something like that. I was like, oh, that must be from the book then. And that's what the Young Frankenstein was spoofing.
Oh, I wonder.
That was my guess.
Victor attends a lecture at medical school where he gets into a philosophical debate with the professor because the professor wants to stick to, believe it or not, science and medicine. And Victor is like, but what about the afterlife and spirituality and things like that? And the doctor's like, yeah, we teach medicine here and science. We're not getting into that.
Mm-hmm. And the man's wig is outrageous, by the way.
The wig is out of control. He is ready for Parliament. He is ready to sit at a table with George Washington.
I don't know about that. He's ready for like the local meeting, like community meeting version of Parliament. Like the one where someone shows up and is like, I don't like that there's germs on the I can see the germs on the eggs at the shop, right?
Yes.
It's very bad.
Meanwhile, John Cleese, unrecognizable John Cleese, is looking very sinister from the shadows. And
didn't it remind you of Young Frankenstein?
Did he?
Didn't this moment with the creep in the class randomly with the box?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I was like, how did this come out after Young Frankenstein? Because so much of what this was felt like it was directly spoofed.
Yeah, for sure. Then we get another boy from class who is chasing after Kenneth Branagh and introduces himself as Henry Clerval, who he could have been written out of the movie entirely. He does absolutely nothing. 100%. And I just call him, he's in love with Victor Frankenstein. I think he's gay for Frankenstein.
Yeah, he's the LeFou to the Gaston.
Very that.
He just follows him around and is like, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be doing me. I mean, something else.
Also, they introduce like the school bully whose name is Schiller, and he like bumps into them, and then he is never brought up again.
Never.
What the fuck was the point of that?
It was so weird. They have this whole moment where you have to see their like big meeting moment, him and his friend, like who cares? And then they're interrupted by the guy who like pushes past them, and it's kind of funny. And then it's I totally forgot. You're right. We never see this person again.
Never see him again. And not only is the friend irrelevant, but like making a point to talk about this other person is even less relevant.
Yeah, this movie, I don't know how long the actual movie is because I watched it with commercials, but I was like, this is getting lengthy.
Long. Yeah. So then there's a scene where he sends a letter to his sister about how beautiful her breasts are. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Sure.
And then more arguing with the teacher about the boundary between life and death.
What's illegal? What's immoral?
Yes.
Yeah.
But then he kind of gets more tutelage from John Cleese, who kind of like seems to have been heading down the same direction in the past as Frankenstein of wanting to investigate life after death or life and death boundaries. And he talks about like acupuncture, like it's some like never like wild medicine. It's just weird. So yeah, so he's talking about acupuncture and he reanimates like a monkey's paw that like attacks his friend. But Frankenstein gets like a knowledge boner and thinks like, if we can replace one body part, why can't we replace them all?
Mm-hmm. I was like, why is there a Frankenfrog plot?
Oh, yes. The Frankenfrog. Although, okay, hang on. First.
Oh, did I skip ahead?
Yeah,
Oh, you're at the hand.
Yes.
That's right. Yes. Sorry, I got distracted when I got up. That's good to go back a little bit.
And then there's a scene where the Dr. Waldman, John Cleese, is trying to like vaccinate the public against scarlet fever or something. I don't remember. Cholera, maybe. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I was going to say before.
Okay.
This John Cleese character, it was so strange because it was like, is he another teacher at this school? Because he was just running a class. It seemed like it was like secretive and like anti what the other teacher was teaching. And I thought he was going to go like, take Victor Frankenstein alone, but he was just teaching another class with all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like Victor's the only one learning this stuff.
Agreed.
He's the only one that went wild with it.
Yes. And so the doctor gets stabbed and murdered at the vaccine clinic. And so now Frankenstein has access to his notes about how he went too far into studying things. And now he finally has like raw materials that he needs to try the experiment. So he grabs the corpse of the man who was hung for stabbing the doctor. And he there's a scene where he starts drawing on the corpse with a straight up weird like Sharpie.
Yeah. At first, I thought he was cutting into. Had a blade in his hand. And I was very relieved, and I was like, "Oh, this is like when someone's like drunk at a party in the '90s."
Yes. So then we cut to a scene with Elizabeth, who's like walking with her either handmaid or best friend or sister, who's like, and she's like, I must go to Victor. And the sister or whatever is like, but you've had so many letters from him. And Elizabeth reveals she's been faking all the letters from him. He hasn't written to her in months or whatever. And then we cut back to Frankenstein, who is breaking into the mausoleum to steal the John Cleese's brain because he wants the good brain of the doctor. And then he goes into a room full of like bodies of people who died from cholera and steals their legs. And this is the weird part is like you have a body that has legs and you have a brain. Why are you cobbling together other legs?
It didn't make any sense. It seemed like a lot of picking body parts at random for no reason.
Right.
Like, why? Why did you need more than... It didn't seem like he would have needed more than one.
Exactly. He steals some amniotic fluid and he revives a frog, and he discovers that the secret is amniotic fluid and acupuncture and electricity.
Did we forget the part where there's a random part where a woman gives birth?
Yes, that's where he's stealing the amniotic fluid, I think.
That was jarring.
Yes.
Jarring out of nowhere. Childbirth. Later... I was like, what is happening?
Well, especially inexplicable later on, there is a literal bathtub full of amniotic fluid.
I don't understand.
I don't know how you get that much amniotic fluid.
I also don't know why Frankenfrog is not a thing.
Hello. So Elizabeth arrives as the city is like breaking out in a cholera epidemic. She is dressed as Benjamin Franklin.
I wrote the same thing. I wrote Paul Revere's here.
And this is the point where I paused and said, oh my God, I'm less than halfway through this movie. Wow.
Oh my God.
So she sees what a gross mess he is and is like, come away, you're like mentally unwell. And he's like, my work comes first. And Helena Bonham Carter, who I generally think is a phenomenal actor, does some like really terrible anguished crying as she like runs out the door.
And you took the words out of my mouth. I wrote, he writes work must come first. And then she does the most ridiculous crying face.
It's like a toddler crying, like a fake baby crying face.
It is so over the top. And then she darts out and there's this chase. It's so over the top.
Yeah.
I love Helena Bonham Carter. I love her. In this movie, every swing is so grand.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay, so then we finally get Frankenstein is reviving the monster. He is, for some reason, shirtless.
He was for some reason shirtless, but hey, I wasn't mad.
I wasn't mad.
But it didn't make any sense.
No. So this is what absolutely murdered me, was this reanimation scene. So
You mean Mousetrap the game?
Mousetrap the game. Or I describe it as an Instant Pot full of amniotic fluid. And then there's this big undulating ball sack in the ceiling that is apparently full of electric eels.
Okay, can we talk about that?
Yes.
He is standing beneath this thing That might as well be out of Metroid.
Yes.
It was like a ball sack. Davey and I were having a really hard time understanding what we were looking at for a while. Was it a tarp?
No, I do not know.
I don't know what that was meant to be in the 1700s. A tarp made of like organs? It was terrible and scary and weird. It looked like an alien ball sack full of electric eels that he released. We're going to get back to that later because I have another comment about this ball sack of eels.
Oh, okay.
But when did that happen?
No idea.
Where did those eels come from?
Well, according to trivia, he would not have been able to get them because they are not from that region of the world. Okay. Also, so it reanimates the monster, blah, blah, blah. The Instant Pot cooker timer goes off and the monster starts thrashing around in the amniotic fluid, and he and Frankenstein kind of like Jello wrestle for a while. The whole room is covered in amniotic fluid at this point.
Yes, and I don't know if this is what's meant to be the thing that makes Frankenstein dangerous or whatever, but he hits his head on something hard on his way up.
Oh.
Because for something, he's like hanging him in the air first on like chains.
Well, okay, so before we get to the chains.
Oh, that was before? That was after the Jello wrestle?
Yes.
Oh, because the Jello wrestle, the amniotic fluid Jello wrestle went on for a very long time.
To the point that it, like, they both kept slipping and falling in the Jello amniotic fluid.
Oh, wow.
To the point that it almost seemed like slapstick comedy.
Yes, I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be laughing or...
It went on for like a solid 5 minutes, it feels
And the sound
like.
effects of sloshing and... it was like, what's going on? I read in the trivia that his suit ripped during this.
Yeah, his prosthetic suit ripped because they were slipping so much.
What do you think about the look of Frankenstein? Because this is the first kind of big deviation I think we have from the classic monster movie look.
I like it generally. I think I probably would have... He looked, unfortunately, kind of just like a vagrant from Game of Thrones. And didn't look as much dead as I would have liked. But I kind of think that in the novel, like I mentioned, he just has like translucent skin, I think, is the main horrifying thing.
Yeah.
But I wish there was something about him that conveyed more death, because he more just looked like he had been disfigured in an accident or something.
Agreed. So. I feel the same way. He looked like Toxic Avenger or something.
Yeah.
But I did like the idea of him not being like, a green sort of campy
bolt neck
look. I like the change to the original. Yeah. But yeah.
And then he gets tangled up in chains that accidentally like lift him to the ceiling, and maybe he is... I think Frankenstein thinks he's dead again because he goes, "What have I done?" as his body is like hanging from chains on the ceiling.
Because he smacks his head on something on the way up.
And he thinks it killed him. Okay.
Because he's not moving anymore, I think, when he's up there now.
Okay. I see.
Because, I guess just knocked him out, but...
And then
I think that it was weird, though, because then he has that big "what have I done" reaction, and I was like, this is a lot.
Yeah. And then, listen to this. So then Frankenstein pulls out his journal and writes, "Massive birth defects, greatly enhanced physical strength. Resulting reanimate is malfunctional and pitiful and dead." And then he puts the journal in his coat pocket and says... "Tomorrow, this journal and its secrets must be destroyed forever." Well, then why did you write it down?
Right.
It made no sense. That bothered me so much.
Why tomorrow?
Why? Why not right now?
You have a tub of fluid.
Honestly.
Toss it in.
You've got a lot of electric eels. You could probably like start some kind of fire with that.
Put it in the ball sack.
Oh, God. Okay. The next day,
I wrote that he has a big drama queen moment with the curtains.
Yes.
I'm sure that was very important.
Yes. So the next day he wakes up and the monster has escaped. Mm-hmm. And the monster is kind of like ambling around town. He's sniffing some bread in the marketplace, and people see
like
him
Jasmine?
Like Jasmine, yes. And people think he's like the one spreading cholera because he looks strange.
Yes. And
so a mob starts chasing him, and he like throws people around and upturns a cart and displays kind of the superhuman strength. But this time, unlike the first Frankenstein, he is a much more intelligent version. Like he is able to like hide and strategize and pretends to be a corpse on a cholera wagon that's leaving town.
But at first they have him eating trash.
Yes.
Weird.
Yeah. Okay. Frankenstein has somehow fallen ill because of his obsession, and his gay lover like brings him back to health.
Mm-hmm.
And he asks about the cholera epidemic, and his gay lover says basically like, "Oh, I think everyone might die of the plague." And Frankenstein's like, "Thank God." I think because he wants the monster to die or something. It's weird.
Who knows?
Somehow, inexplicably, Elizabeth is back and has brought her harpsichord up to the attic with her and is playing the harpsichord.
I love that. The harpsichord in the attic.
And she's like, "Oh, please forgive me." What?
Yes, and then they reunite and spin around for 45 minutes.
Correct.
There's a lot of spinning around in this movie.
Well, okay, fun piece of trivia is in this movie, they're doing the waltz a lot, and the waltz at this time period was considered a peasant dance. And so the rich people, like Frankenstein, would not have been waltzing.
Do your research.
Okay. So the monster is wandering. He hears music. He wanders onto this like family's farm and like sees the family. They have like an old blind. What's that? He eats pig slop. Yes. He sees there's like an old grandpa who's blind. The monster tries to read. So he took Frankenstein's coat with him, and he's trying to read the book that Frankenstein wrote about his experiments. But he kind of like seems like he can't read it at first, and kind of like sets it aside.
Mm-hmm. He kind of reads it like the babies in those infomercials for Your Baby Can Read.
Yes, he's like holding it vertically and not horizontally, and flipping through pages with kind of clumsy fingers. I will say, I think Robert De Niro did a really good job in this movie. I think he's one of the better parts of this movie. I
agree. For a character that's in full prosthetic that has the most permission to be over the top, he's the most realistic and most human.
Totally. So the farmers are kind of like experiencing poor harvests. The ground is frozen, blah, blah, blah. The monster is overhearing all of this and like seems to use his superhuman strength to like harvest all of their vegetables for them. And they're like, what friend could have done this for us? And he like pets his face off screen and goes, "Friend."
Oh, so. Yes. And then he hears them like learning the word friend the next day.
Yes.
At the homeschooling. I was like, listen, if you are celebrating this much after every word, you're going to be doing this class for a long, long time, girl. Friend, next word. And then now they're all saying that the good spirit of the forest is who's helped them.
Yes.
So I like that.
Frankenstein's monster thinks maybe he's good after all.
Right. And he's like, "Oh, I'm the good spirit of the forest." And he's feeling like the feeling of being cared for, you know?
Yes.
Instead of like what he experienced when he first got born, which was a mud wrestling and concussion.
A head injury, being hung by chains. So, okay. So Victor and Elizabeth are now engaged. They're heading back to Geneva. He hires his gay best friend to come back with them for some unknown job or reason, presumably to do butt stuff. Mm-hmm. And then, and then the friend says something like, "Write that down in your journal." And that's when Frankenstein realizes his journal is missing. Mm-hmm. That doesn't really come to anything, but whatever.
Yeah.
Cut back to the farm. The landlord is harassing the little girl of the family, saying like, "Your father must pay."
Oh yeah,
she runs away.
Wild, the landlord guy.
He's really wild. He's like grabbing this child.
He is abusive. He's physically abusing these people. He's the landlord.
Yes.
He's and then out of his mind. He's scarier than anything else so far.
Yes. And he like kind of attacks the grandpa as well. And so the girl runs off to tell the rest of the family, who are away at the moment. The monster kills the landlord, and the grandpa's like, "Thank you. Please come inside."
Thanks
by
for
the
killing
fire.
The landlord on his property. No one will be suspicious.
Exactly. So he is like bonding with the monster, and they're talking a little bit. The monster is able to talk more, and Robert De Niro says he has no friends because people are scared of him, and the grandfather is like, he sees him with his hands and says something nice. I can't remember what.
He says like something like, "It can't be that bad." And the guy's like, Frankenstein, or the sharp-figured man says he's so very ugly.
Yeah.
And then I think he says he's so very beautiful or something.
Maybe, yeah.
Something I wrote down, so very beautiful.
Okay.
It was a really nice moment. It kind of reminded me.
Yeah.
This must be in the book because it was spoofed in Young Frankenstein, the blind gentleman.
Oh,
scene,
yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
You know, but this must be the more realistic version.
Yeah.
But yeah, then it's sad because then the family comes back, and because the kid wasn't specific, she just said that someone's attacking Grandpa or whatever. Idiot.
They ignore the body of the landlord by the front door.
Yes.
And walk in and start beating the shit out of the monster.
Right. And Grandpa, by the way, doesn't say anything.
No.
He's like, hey.
He's not like, hey, that's my friend. Stop hitting him with sticks.
Sweet jackass. Keep your performative I'm beautiful bullshit to yourself. You're not going to stop the man attacking me.
Agreed.
Poor guy. It was heartbreaking.
It was. That was sad. And then the family is like, we must leave this place. And then Frankenstein goes back and burns down the house and says, I will have revenge.
They left it fast. The family's like, we got to leave immediately. And Frankenstein goes back really quickly and they're gone. There's like a Christmas tree on the ground.
Yes.
Where'd that come from? Oh, I did love the revenge scene. Revenge.
Yes. Okay, so Helena Bonham Carter and Kenneth Branagh get home. He's given her a locket with a picture of him in it, which seems like something you would give somebody before you move away for years to go to medical school and not like once you reunite, but okay. Yeah. And then like, some little kid,
I guess.
Maybe? And then some little kid runs off with it. Like he's like, let me see it. And then goes running into the forest with it. And
the little kid, by the way, is the kid of the blonde lady, I guess?
Yes.
The kid of the woman we're supposed to care about, who is somehow related to all of this. Her only relation so far is, I think, that her and Helena Bonham Carter are competing for whose boobs are going to be shown the most.
Yeah, for sure. So the kid runs into the monster in the forest, where the monster is playing the flute, and then he drops the locket when he sees the monster. The monster sees the picture. Well, he is.
When did he become Link with his pan flute in the woods?
Honestly.
Anyway.
And then when he sees Kenneth Branagh, he chases after the kid, I think. And then we get this weird scene where everybody's worried about the kid and chasing around, like looking around the hillsides and searching for the child.
Yeah.
The father whips off his wig in irritation, weirdly. The woman of the mother of the child like tiredly collapses in a barn where Frankenstein's monster like touches her face a lot while she's unconscious.
Yeah.
But leaves the locket with her. I don't know why.
Very strange. Everyone's all up in arms about this kid being missing for a very small period of time. I mean, granted, they have reason to, but it's a lot. It's ruining the wedding.
Yes.
And then, okay, is this where they all start searching for, do they find out that, okay, wait.
This is when Helena Bonham Carter comes back carrying his body.
Right, okay. Comes back carrying the kid's body. We didn't even know that he got killed, really, until now.
No.
We didn't see anything.
The kid did not do a good job of playing dead, by the way.
I was wondering if he was going to wake up or not. It looked like he was breathing.
Same. And then they put a sheet over his face, and I was like, oh, he's dead. Okay.
And then they're like, we have to go find out who did this. And I feel like they're accusing his mom immediately.
Somebody says, like somebody from the town says, we've apprehended the murderer in a barn. She had the locket. So either the monster framed her or the village people are stupid and just thought that she must be the murderer. The townspeople are like, have like gone mad. They're like putting her on their shoulders like they're doing some like victory lift for her, but she's screaming because they're preparing to kill her.
Right. I thought, are they saving her? And this is like crowd surfing? She's celebrating her big win.
Thank you. The crowd surfing is the most accurate analogy, and her screaming is the most over-the-top screaming I've ever seen in my life.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
This whole movie has a lot in it. And
I was going to say, I take that back.
All of that.
Yeah.
The sharp-dressed man, Frankenstein's monster, and Frankenstein encounter each other.
You just called him the sharp-dressed man, by the way.
What is he? Sharp-figured man? Sharp-dressed man is that song, man. Right?
Yes.
It more accurately describes him, all right? And then this is where Frankenstein's monster says, meet me on the sea of ice?
Yes.
meet me on the sea of... He finally encounters Frankenstein who he wants to see, and he's like, meet me on the sea of ice. You're right there.
Yeah.
Why are we changing scenery?
Don't know.
Meet me on the sea of ice. And by the way, that's very vague.
Very vague.
The sea, that's like saying, meet me in Canada. Period. The end.
Period. The end. Okay, so then he gets pushed down a tunnel, and he and the monster have a little heart-to-heart where the monster says...
Hold on.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
We cannot just say that he gets pushed down a tunnel, because So Frankenstein First of all, they tell everyone to accept the deaths and move on. LOL. Frankenstein travels out into the frozen tundra. It is just mountains of ice. And he just happens to find the spot on the sea of ice, quote-unquote, where he's supposed to meet Frankenstein, which is in the middle of nowhere. And Frankenstein has some sort of elaborate trap set up.
Well,
where he jumps from behind like a spider monkey.
I was going to say the jump was also absolutely wild.
It was comical that this gigantic man dressed in all this prosthetic jumped like a spider monkey at him for the first time able to move like this. And then it like kind of scares Frankenstein to fall down a tube that was like a Mario Kart round that was constructed to lead him down to an ice dungeon.
Yeah.
When did this get constructed? What is this? Is this where you meet Shiva in Final Fantasy? This is so weird. I was like, what?
It's very weird.
Why are we in an ice loop? It was very strange. I just can't say he got thrown down a tunnel. Made no sense. Is this in the book?
I don't know. But I think this exchange is in the book because he says like, I don't want to kill you. But he does say he killed William, which I guess is his little brother.
Oh, it's very... yeah, I don't know. That's right. It was his little brother. So maybe not the kid of the blonde lady? I don't know.
Yeah. And then Kenneth Branagh says something like, his poor soul. And the monster says, like, what of my soul? Do I have one?
Yeah.
And
he says
he
to
wants
him, you gave me emotions with no way to use them.
Yes. And he wants a friend, a companion, a female. And if you give me a bride, we will travel to the North Pole and no one will ever see us again. Helena Bonham Carter has like had it officially and starts like packing up to leave Victor while he starts to make a bride out of the dead woman's body, the one who got murdered for presumably killing that kid. Although he kind of refuses, he like doesn't want to do it, and instead he makes a plan with Elizabeth to like get married today and like leave town. But
Frankenstein's monster has already indicated to him that he doesn't want just any wife, he wants his wife.
He says he wants a wife.
I thought he said he wants Elizabeth.
I don't think so, because he was the one who brought Justine's body, I think.
God.
But anyway, they get married, they get aboard a ship, and they say a line. I can't remember if it's her or him, but they say, brother and sister no more, now husband and wife.
Oh, gross, yes. Brother and sister
so
no
sick.
More, now husband and wife. I wrote it right down. And they were married by a man whose hairline...
Oh, the hairline. What was that wig?
That was...
that was like, Karen Huger, like, shift it back. Like, the wig is on the back of the head, Mary.
100%. 100%. And that wedding looked like a funeral.
Yes.
But I mean, brother and sister no more, so there you go.
So they're fucking. Yeah, they're fucking.
They're fucking, which, by the way, in this movie is also just a lot of spinning around.
A lot of spinning around, a lot of Helena Bonham Carter's boobs.
A lot of fumbling frantically at buttons and bows and ribbons.
Yes. And then he hears the flute. Kenneth Branagh hears the flute, which he has never heard. Oh, you know what? I guess actually in the ice cave, the monster did say, like, what part of me remembers playing the flute? So he does associate the flute with the monster.
That's right.
So mid-fuck sesh, he is like, gotta go, stay here, lock the door, and goes to, like, hunt for the monster outside of the ship with a bunch of other people. And then Elizabeth looks straight up, and for some reason this boat has, like, a net above the main bedroom's bed.
It's like a canopy.
And the monster is there, and then suddenly the monster is on top of her.
He's laying on the canopy. He must weigh over 180 pounds.
Yeah.
He's just laying on the canopy, which is made of, like, mosquito net.
Yeah.
No one noticed him?
Very strange.
Very strange.
And then he's on top of her. And Kenneth Branagh hears her scream, runs back in, and the monster shoves his hand into her chest and rips out her heart and says, "I keep my promises." And then throws her body at some candles and sets her head on fire and runs away.
What?
Yeah. And then Kenneth Branagh decides he's going to revive her because he can't be without her.
Right.
And he does the whole electric eel ball sack process, brings her back to life.
Hold on. This is the electric... Okay. And another thing about the body. So he's like, I want to bring her back to life. He obviously wants to use a different body because her heart has been ripped out of her chest. So all he would have to do is head, new body.
Yeah.
Right? She's got stitches all over.
Yeah.
Like she's Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. There's number one. Number two, he has just decided to do this. Let's say he decided to do it for the other woman, for him, the bride, a day or two before. Where did these eels come from again? They've just been living there? Do they live there forever in this ball sack?
I guess so.
Is it a direct route from the ocean?
Can you imagine being like, oh, sure, I'll leave behind my medical practice and come home with you. Just make sure to pack my big ball sack of electric eels because that goes wherever I go.
Right. Or just, I'm leaving this. You have to feed that ball sack of electric eels indefinitely, even if we never use this operating room again. But he's just got it on hand and they're ready to go. So anyway, I just could not believe that the electric eel ball sack was coming back.
It was so weird. So she comes back to life. She's also kind of fucked up.
She's had her head on
He dresses
fire.
her in her wedding gown, which is very creepy. It's very Last Dance with Mary Jane, this whole scene.
Yes.
Although he says, say my name, say my name. If no one is around you, say baby, I love you.
So
and then
funny.
they like...
When he was saying say my name, it kept reminding me of Neverending Story.
Oh my God. So they dance sort of, but he's more like dragging her around the room.
Oh, it's so
and then
awkward. He's just spinning her around again.
Yeah. And then the monster appears and there's kind of like a tug of war between Kenneth Branagh and the monster. And
it's like one of those scenes where they're like, okay, let's put the dog in the middle of the two people and see which one it goes to.
I know.
It was weird.
Hate it. So they're fighting over her and she like realizes what she's become. And so she self-immolates with an oil lamp by exploding it above her head. And I will say the footage of her running and on fire through that hallway, that was cool. Like they filmed that really well.
So cool. And that felt like an impactful like scene. And it probably took a lot.
Yeah.
And it probably was like something they were very proud of.
Yeah.
It was really cool because the whole room was just smoldering. Whoever was in that suit, or I don't know how they did that, they really did their thing.
Yes, for sure.
Ooh, that was intense.
And then the house erupts in flames. And then we immediately cut back to quote unquote present day in the Arctic, where we learn Kenneth Branagh has been following the monster. But he says, I've had one intent, to kill him. I'm so very tired. And he dies. And then they have like a funeral pyre for Frankenstein, the like the crew of this ship.
Who don't know him. This crazy man that just encountered them.
Right. And the monster shows up and the ice cracks and the men try to like rescue the monster, but instead the monster swims with a torch like an Olympic torchbearer and says, I am done with man. And he swims to his, quote unquote father's funeral pyre and lights it. And it seems like doesn't maybe throw himself on it, but burns with him.
It seems like it, yeah. He takes the torch over and tearfully lights him on fire and doesn't get off. So it seems like that's the intention.
Yeah. And then the first mate of the ship says, where to now, Captain? And the captain says, home.
Home. Because every other time he's been like, north. No matter what he's heard, every time they've cut back to him randomly, he's like, no, we're still going north.
Yeah.
Which means nothing. I guess it's just showing like, okay, that person was obsessed with something and look what it led him to. So maybe this guy finally realized, don't be obsessed.
Yeah.
There's your message. Why are you so obsessed with me?
Why are you so obsessed with me? So, do you want a few pieces of trivia about this movie?
I would love some. I thought I had some, but I don't know if I wrote them down, but go ahead.
That's okay. So, Robert De Niro, in order to, get a good handle on speech that is like struggling to emerge, spent a lot of time with stroke victims who were like learning to regain speech so
Oh,
that he could like accurately sort of convey what it's like to begin to relearn speaking.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I already talked about the prosthetics on John Cleese. Oh, okay. So Francis Ford Coppola was one of the producers of this film, and he insisted that they cut almost the entire first half of the movie because he thought it was so unnecessary and long and made the movie really boring. But Kenneth Branagh, who was the director and another executive producer, refused. And so Francis Ford Coppola publicly denounced the movie.
Okay. I mean, listen, they could have really cut it down.
They really could have cut it down a
Yeah.
lot. Apparently, Kenneth Branagh was married to Emma Thompson at this time.
Oh.
And she was originally going to play Elizabeth, but then she got another role and he said, no, go do that other role, and cast Helena Bonham Carter. And then Kenneth Branagh fell in love with Helena Bonham Carter. And I think it caused him and Emma Thompson to split up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Drama.
Okay. And then, so at the beginning, the family adopts Elizabeth because they say her whole family died of scarlet fever. But in the book, his mother just takes Elizabeth because she's like playing outside her family's hut and she decides she's too beautiful to be raised in poverty. And so she like just kidnaps her in the book, apparently.
Oh my God. I mean, it is just kind of random that they adopt.
It's very
this kid.
random. Yeah. That's most of the trivia I had that we haven't already discussed. I guess one thing we didn't really talk about, I will say Helena Bonham Carter, love her to death. There was a lot of big swings, but I will say I think some of her best acting in the film was when she was the reanimated corpse. I think she did that really well.
That was really cool. She did a really
Yeah.
good job of like sort of like what is going on, semi-aware, semi-confused, like new but curious. And that was one of the most impactful moments of her death scene.
Yeah, for sure. The death scene and the ice dungeon conversation, I think, were probably the strongest moments of this movie.
Oh, big
and
time.
they were really strong moments. Like if everything around that had been that strong, I think it would have been a good movie.
I agree. I think it would have been a lot better. I have like parts of me that thought this was like way over the top in ways where I was like laughing at parts where I was like, okay, I'm supposed to be taking this seriously, but the dialogue and the presentation is so over the top. I can't.
Yeah.
It was just so campy unintentionally
Yeah.
at times.
Yeah.
But then there were parts of it that really got me, like that ice conversation with Frankenstein. I found it really moving.
Totally.
Robert De Niro and the writing around like the creature's conversation or whatever, and it was really impactful. I really saw
For
his
sure.
humanity in a way that is just kind of touched upon, kind of sad in the other ones towards the end, you know?
And I think that is the part that people are saying is much more true to the novel, is he is much more human and intelligent in the novel than any of the other movies portray him as.
Yeah. Like that scene of like, when he's like, what am I made of? And he's like, raw material. And he's like, well, which of my raw materials knew how to play the flute? Which of mine know how to talk? Like,
Yeah.
what an interesting... That was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought some of the other parts of his dialogue throughout the movie were interesting. But
Yeah.
then, I was like, why was it dropped among all this, like, sweeping orchestral swells that lead to a framed picture on the wall?
Honestly. Oh,
okay,
boy.
so do you want the ratings?
I do.
Okay, IMDb gives this a 6.3.
Okay.
Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter is 42%, and the audience popcorn meter is 49%.
Okay.
do
I
you
already
think?
decided I am giving this movie a 2.
A 2.
I'm giving it 1 point for Helena Bonham Carter and 1 point for Robert De Niro.
Wow. I'm going to give it... I feel like I'm going to give it a 4. I'll give it a solid 4.
Okay.
Because I feel like I'm not totally neutral on it. There were a lot of things that could have... It was too long.
It was way too long.
It was too long, and there were a lot of parts at the beginning that were very confusing. Characters, like you said, that could have been completely cut out served no purpose whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I did
and
like the
I'm-
backstory. It was interesting to see like sort of where his madness came in. The acting was not bad. It was just over the top.
I just don't think Kenneth Branagh was the right choice to play somebody tortured by the loss of a loved one that drives him to insanity. Like, he just was the wrong choice for that role.
I agree. Whoever played the random pirate sailor iceberg guy who was obsessed was more that vibe than him in the little scenes we saw him.
Totally. Yeah, I completely agree.
So, yeah, that's why I'm kind of holding back a little bit. But I did think I like it a little bit more than you did. So,
Yeah. Here's what I'll say. I do think the ice dungeon conversation, and I do think Helena Bonham Carter's reanimation to death are totally worth seeing. And so I think that if people want to see any part of it but don't want to sit through a lot of it, because you shouldn't, because it's fucking boring, just go watch those 2 scenes, which I'm sure you can probably find on YouTube at this point, because those scenes are great.
yeah, I would say I wouldn't advise against watching it. I would just say expect it to be a slow burn. And if you want to skip ahead the first 20 minutes, you're probably good.
Yeah. 20, try 40.
Oop.
So is this a beauty or a beast for you?
Ooh, I'm conflicted. I'm
big time beast.
Oh boy. I'm gonna say overall, I'm gonna give it beauty still.
Wow.
A lot of work went into it. The costuming was grand. It just was too long, and it just felt like a couple different movies pieced together.
Yeah, I agree. And honestly, based on how long it was and based on the need for the viewer to relate to the humanity of the monster, the story of Frankenstein would work so much better as a miniseries than a single feature film.
Oh, totally. I'm hoping we see more explorations of his humanity in future Frankensteins we watch.
Me too. Well,
next week we're doing 2015's Frankenstein?
No, there's one more in between. Let me see what it is. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, 2015. For some reason, my brain heard 2015 and thought, well, that's not out yet. That doesn't come out for a couple weeks. So apparently, my brain thinks it's 10 years ago.
Time warp. It's the movie.
Yes, 2015 Frankenstein.
Okay, I know nothing about that one at all, so...
Me neither.
Stay tuned.
And in the meantime, listeners, sometimes posting comments on the internet can feel like screaming into the void, but writing a review for our podcast is actually really helpful because it makes it more likely that people will find our podcast. So you should go try that right now.
That's right. And while you're out there screaming into the void, if you want to just more quietly share some word of mouth about our podcast, it's the best way to people to find us. So go on Reddit, whatever you use to post about us, share word.
Yeah. Our social media is RebootyPod on Instagram, and you can email us at rebootypod@gmail.com. We love getting emails, so send us one and say hi.
Yeah, and give us suggestions. We are always looking for new reboots. We're always looking for something to watch. Yeah. And if you are looking for more of us, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/NandMatt. We have a lot of bonus episodes there, movies that aren't reboots, games. Check it out.
Yeah, we just released an episode of a review of K-pop Demon Hunters, which was super fun, so go listen to that.
That's right, it's golden.
In the meantime, thank you so much for listening to Rebooty and the Beast.
See you next week.
Bye.